Thanks everyone for joining ahead of the holiday season. So for me today, my intent is to actually show you how you can leverage AI to become a better operator in your business and also a better human. A lot of the stuff I actually haven't discussed before, so a lot of it's a first time preview here. But before I get into the presentation, just a little bit about myself. Actually, this photo doesn't work. There we go. There's the right photo, an AI generated photo. I look a lot more handsome, but essentially I'm running a dynamic pricing software for private label brands. So we change pricing like Uber or Lyft or Expedia to maximize profits for your business and to extract the value discrepancy that's on the Amazon marketplace. I've sold, let's see, I've sold 3 companies now in my past. I've sold Stubana, an inventory system for multi-channel sellers, an agency along with the Prosper Show for Amazon brands. I still run an e-commerce business today, which is how I come up with all my ideas. And I use that to really serve as an impetus for change in the e-commerce community, along with the starting of Profasee. So it's been a pretty crazy year. After I sold Stubana, I essentially raised another 2.3 million to scale Profasee, which is again an AI-driven software. I've also taken a deep reset around really a personal reset in life, specifically to hire coaches like chess coaches, DJ coaches, nutrition coaches, all those awesome things. I even bought a boat. So I first want to just start with this is actually how people are changing price on Amazon today, right? It goes something like this. They look at their competitor's price, they look at the marketplace, they see what everyone else offers, and they pretty much copy the price of the brand that copied their price. And they go slightly lower maybe to remain competitive, but the real secret is that they're copying people that are already broke. So why on earth do we copy them? So with Profasee, we essentially figured out a way to do that profitably. Cool. That's the sponsor, Profasee, and here is the actual presentation. So right now we're living through a pretty amazing time, right? Actually, probably the most amazing time ever, where we can essentially get delivery to our door of food. Everything is at our fingertips. My son can get his truck the same day, 2 hours in Miami. And yet the demands of life have sped up. And so the question is how do you win at life and how do you win at business, given the fact that life is sped up the way it is, right? We're constantly bombarded with spam, with everybody trying to get our attention. And if you look at my calendar, right, it's just an absolute mess. And so the question then is, if you're overwhelmed, how do you maximize life? And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how do you gain a little bit of freedom. And if you can get 1 nugget or 2 nuggets from this presentation, amazing. This was a really good use of your time today. That's really my intent, is to really give you 1 nugget, 1 piece of value that'll change your life. So for me, especially after I sold my last company, right, the most important thing to me is the spaces on my calendar. That's more impressive than anything else that I can focus on. And when my calendar isn't free, it absolutely sucks. And I have a long way to go, right? It's not nearly entirely free, especially running a startup, but every day I strive to be healthy, right? I try to have time for myself, do what I love, and maintain healthy relationships. So I'm going to give you some nuggets today, and hopefully, again, there's a couple of takeaways here. So one is specifically for AI, and these tools are getting better and better every day. But the first one that I absolutely love is LEAI, and I don't make any money on these things I'm recommending, but LEAI is a tool. It's a Chrome extension that connects into my Gmail browser and allows me to write emails and essentially reads the thread and allows me to customize and train it so it's actually responding much more in line with my voice and my style of writing. Just this alone actually changed my life because I spent so much time doing emails. Another one that I've been using a lot is Merlin AI, and it allows you to essentially reply on Twitter, but also copy things from different browsers and search deeper on specific topics, find definitions. It's a really awesome Swiss Army knife that I use when I'm browsing the web. And then I know that Claude actually does this now, and now actually ChatGPT does, but essentially I used to want to really deeply analyze PDFs, and a lot of the PDFs sometimes are unstructured, so I'd use Chat PDF to chat with those PDFs to learn more and summarize different things, and just out of curiosity, interrogate different PDFs that I'm trying to read and allow me to ramp up faster on those PDFs. So the next thing, I know there's a lot of Amazon sellers on here. And it looks like I think I did shout out Max's software, eComtent on here, but these are, to me, some of the most impressive softwares I've found in the space, in the Amazon e-commerce space, because there's a lot of noise in the space. There's probably a new AI software every day. And so just here's a great list, a nice tech stack that you can take a screenshot of the different categories and where people line up. I think also, yeah, ZipChat is on here too. So shout out to Luca. And Joe, I don't have your software on there because I think you're more of an agency consultancy, but very cool stuff that you're building. So here's some other AI tools I'm using to run my business outside of Amazon. One is essentially for us, we build all of our processes in Notion, and we're using Scribe How to essentially create SOPs of documentation so that our team doesn't have to do it. And this allows us to scale processes a lot faster. Here's TLDV, right, which essentially is video transcripts so that we can record videos and go back and reference different comments that people make. Of course, I'm using Claude, but I've actually connected Claude to Slack specifically so that I don't have to actually switch and toggle between Claude and Slack. So I have Slack up on one screen and we have a chat related just to AI and asking questions. And then here's just a few personal ones. I know that, just before this call started, internally we were talking about where everybody is vacationing, and Where to AI is an amazing itinerary planner. Especially, I know, Joe, you're not going to be traveling right now, but perhaps maybe this will inspire you to throw something on the calendar, and it plans out your entire trip for you depending on like what your needs are. If you're traveling solo or with a family. So again, all these things are just meant to actually allow you to scale quicker, both your personal life and your business life. Summarize.tech to me allows me to summarize YouTube videos. So like typically a webinar like this, I like to actually sometimes just get the replay and then have it break down where there's different conversations and where I want to really where I want to start the conversation in those YouTube videos. A few other things I'm like playing with right now, I would say is I'm actually really playing a lot with Bing Image Creator. I'm finding I'm getting a lot better results than using any other image creator right now. And Typing Mind allows me to organize a lot of my prompts, which we'll get into in a second. And I think I have another 5 minutes, Max. Or Nick, is that right?
No worries, man. We stopped the clock, so we have time. You're sharing a lot of valuable stuff, Usually
Yeah,
people...
there's a lot here. This is me condensing an hour presentation into 10 minutes. So I'm going super quick, really with the effort of just making sure that I'm dropping as much value as possible. So for me, AI in general is like going to the gym. It's what you put in is what you're going to get out of it. And it's all about your inputs. And the better you get at putting in inputs, the better the output is going to be. So if you're putting in better reps, if your form is better, everything actually increases and it compounds over time, which is the same as building muscle. So essentially, once you start actually writing prompts the right way and doing things, what I think is like best practices in the prompt world, you'll be able to actually move even a lot faster than you ever imagined. So for me, I build a lot of my own custom prompts, much longer than 2 sentences. I essentially get prompts from other people, and I'm using the Discord open AI chat that not a lot of people use. There's actually open source prompts in there that people are building and experimenting on. It's super rad. I also use a Chrome extension called AI PRM. And essentially, I built my own prompt library inside of Notion to house all the prompts that I build. So I feed ChatGPT specifically better prompts so that I get the outputs that are better, right? So instead of give me 5 hooks, I'm feeding it with hooks that I like, for example, to generate hooks that are compelling and good because I'm not the world's best copywriter. I'm also using AI PRM, which is a Chrome extension that is an overlay inside ChatGPT that already has like open sourced prompts built in, and I actually can see those prompts and then use them and build them into my own Notion arsenal that I've been building. And by the way, again, these tools are all getting better over time. So like if you used it 3 months ago, it'll be better right now. This is this Discord chat I was mentioning that essentially has people sharing prompts, and I've been using these and building my own prompt library. And this is like my example of my Amazon prompt library, but I also have a personal prompt library that I've built as well of things that I'm working on or goals that I have for 2024, journaling, prompts, all those things specifically that I'm using AI for that I wasn't using previously. Even a prompt for a prompt. So here's like an example of an amazing prompt that essentially creates a prompt for you. This was one that was open sourced in that Discord library that I'm talking about and allows you to essentially build far better prompts than you can build with just 1 or 2 sentences. And you just copy paste this and then feed ChatGPT with better prompts. Here's one for Seller Central, right? And this is one that I used this prompt for to create this prompt, which essentially now my team never has to go and create a customized seller support message. You can just come in here, copy and paste this and drop this into ChatGPT. And now we have a beautiful and powerful post that we can essentially get Amazon's attention on. And just a few small things to be a better human, right? You can essentially use ChatGPT as your nutritionist. This is someone that posted on Twitter. I essentially like to use ChatGPT to help me prepare for the week for meals specifically. I use it for coming up with training sessions for me instead of actually subscribing to a service. And I just train it on the gym equipment that I have. And then essentially, I like to use ChatGPT to get some reflection on myself. So for self-growth specifically, sometimes it could be your best friend because you want to essentially, you have a problem. Let's just say it's at 2 a.m. in the morning. You're not going to hit your friend up for that, but say you have ChatGPT at your side, it's a great sidekick to run ideas against. And even for therapy, right? So as a therapist, I have a much larger prompt for it, but here's just like an example of one, right? You can use this very quickly, but I have a much more robust built out version for personal therapy where I share my feelings in the situation and I get answers based on the knowledge. It remembers our conversations. It provides very precise contextual feedback for me. And while it's probably not a replacement for a human therapist, it's a very close second. So anyway, if you like what I had to share today, and thank you everyone for tuning in, and you wanted a copy of these slides, just scan that QR code right there. You can connect with me as well. I'm very active on LinkedIn and Twitter. And what else? My personal email, if you just prefer the old school way, is chad@profasee.com. Again, that's Chad, CHAD, @profasee.com. And thank you.